honored and excited to come to you live from Sydney, Australia at 8 p.m. at night because one of my most favorite people in the whole wide world, we met through my children's entertainment company, actually. And then I realized what she does for work, and she is amazing. She helps people and inspires people to share their story through book writing. And so today you're going to have a little bit of insight to what it is that she does, a little bit of insight to inspiration perhaps. And I will also be sharing my story in how I wrote a book and now giving profits to a beautiful international organization to help kids in poverty. So let me bring on the beautiful Etta today and give her a huge warm welcome in the comments below. Also, please do put in the comments below where you're tuning in from. We would love to know. Etta, beautiful, how are you?
Well, thank you, Laura. What an introduction. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm honored that you're here to share. So maybe for the viewers, you're on Facebook and YouTube, by the way. We've got queens tuning in. We've got business professionals and so forth. But maybe let's just give them a little bit of the background to Etta. And maybe you can even start at childhood, whatever you'd like to share so we understand your journey until now. So yeah, just share about your background.
Absolutely. So going back to my childhood, I was always a writer. I always loved to play with words. And my parents were very practical, so they did not see that as a career progression for me. So I finished a degree in biology, wanting to go to medical school, or my parents intending for me to go to medical school. And then after I finished my diploma, that was the end of that. And I just, I've been writing on and off since I was a little girl. However, I never had the guts to publish a book until COVID lockdown. And then when that happened, I sat down with my mother, I interviewed her, and I understood her childhood for the first time because, our mothers are supposed to be the people we know the most. However, how many of us really know what our mothers were like when they were children?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I was so privileged to have the chance to sit down with my mother and, go through some old photographs and write her biography. And that one came out a few years ago, and it's called We All Have Wings. And then after that, I wrote my memoir. And then after that, I interviewed 14 business people, such as yourself.
Mommy, can I come in?
Oh, sorry. My little Lucy has just come in.
Oh, hi, Lucy.
I'm doing an interview right now with Laura. We're doing, and we're going to be.
Is Laura.
You can't see her right now, but she's definitely there.
Lovely. How are you? Hi.
Now, can I have you go back to bed, Lucy, with Zoe? It is your bedtime. I'll go ahead and let you have that. You go back to bed, darling. I'll be in there after I talk about what it is that I do.
And Zoe saw that there was a skeleton on the roof.
Oh, did she?
Yes.
All right, darling, back to bed. It is bedtime here for the children.
Sure.
And so writing my mom's biography opened so many more doors, and I could see how affordable it was to self-publish. And now I came up with a system to help other people who may be struggling with, knowing where to begin writing their stories. And I've developed this system called My Memoir Maker, which is prompts delivered through email. So with as little effort as 15 minutes per week, as if you're sitting down and responding to a friend who wants to know about your life, you can get your whole book written, and it will look something like this.
Wow. Let's go close up so everyone can see that. That's beautiful. So let's just make sure the viewers heard that. So you wrote a book 15 minutes a day or 15 minutes a week?
Oh, I actually spent about 15 minutes a day.
Wow. 15 minutes a day over how long, Etta?
Oh, okay. So my mother's biography, oh gosh, that one, 3 months.
Wow.
It wasn't very long.
Yes.
And then my memoir, that was a really difficult one because I had to go really deep. So there was a lot of work that I had to do with, people who are like you, coaches who inspire people and who also encourage people, because I was lacking a lot of courage. So that one took a long time because I had to go very deep. However, something like this, where you're responding to prompts, it's like paint by numbers. So you write it. Okay, Lucy, you do that. Sorry, my kids are still awake. They should be in bed, but
okay. So for the viewers watching, we are interviewing Etta on how she wrote a book. She got the inspiration during COVID, and now she's inspiring other people to write their.
you guys want to say hi to Laura?
Yeah.
These are my children. They really wanted to say hi to you. And
Hi,
you guys
beautiful.
say hi, though. I want you guys back in bed, okay? All
So good
right.
to see you.
Yeah, back to bed. Back to bed. All
Give them
right.
the love hearts, guys, in the comments below. So we're sharing how Etta found her voice and put her voice into books, and sharing her beautiful message with people, and now inspiring others to go ahead and write a book. I myself wrote a book in 2020, wrote it in 2 weeks, but it took me quite a long time to publish because I had all the self-doubt coming up. So you wrote your book 15 minutes a day within 3 months, and now you coach others how to do that. So we're going to get into this story a little bit more detail. But firstly, I'm going to be sharing you my story in how I decided to write a book and what I'm doing with the funds. So let's just cut to a commercial here, and we'll come back to Etta's story just in a moment.
It's funny, Crystal, you should ask me this, because in my business, I love to teach people how to be a performer to kids, because I love to bring happiness to kids. And it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I really wanted to write a book to entertainers or out of work actors, if you will, how to have your own weekend business. So that was always at the back of my mind. And you know what, Crystal, I always put it on the back burner, and I never wrote it. I started writing a little bit of my background story and so forth, but nothing really stuck. And so kind of left that to the one side. But when I found my true core purpose, which is to inspire greatness within for children, I knew it. It was then I needed to write the book. And I think that I was given a message from God, the universe, whatever it is that you call it. I need to get my knowledge out there. And it wasn't until I found my true core purpose that I knew it was now. Before, I was kind of like, yeah, I should do it. And I was maybe focused more on the money side of things and not really the heart side of things. And that's the difference. When you truly connect with your heart, and you pray and you meditate and you work on filling your inner cup up first before filling other areas in your life. For example, like, you have to feel powerful from within. And if you don't feel happy every day, how can you help others, and how can you give, and how can you be of service? So I guess it was found my true core purpose. And now, as soon as I sat down to write my book, I ordered a online course and learned how to write a book, because I didn't want to just stumble through it. I always look to the people who've gone before me, and I adopt what they do, and that's how I achieve what I want to achieve. And I wrote the book in 2 weeks. I studied how many words, how many pages, and so forth I would need, and I just did it every day. I knew I needed to write 2 chapters, and I wrote down, connected to my heart, and I just poured it all into the book. And I just knew it. There's a feeling that you have when you're on the right path, that now is the time that I need to share my story. And it wasn't necessarily my whole life story, if you will. It was stories on what I've learned in a down moment, and how I've taken that information, and now I use those skills to achieve in my life. And there's one section in the book that I talk about how I manifested my husband, because I went through all these failed relationships, and I was like, what is wrong with me, And someone asked me what I wanted in a husband, so I wrote it down. But I was early 30s, before I really knew what I wanted in a husband. And so that's why I was going through these experiences and courting people, and then it just wouldn't work out. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? And so I wrote down what I wanted in a husband. And it was not what he looked like, but it was like the personality, what I wanted to see within him. And it was everything that he is now. And when I met my husband, a year and 1 day later, we were married in Salt Lake City, Utah. So yes, it's powerful. So I know that that's why I needed to write it, put it all in a book, because whoever reads this, if it's an adult or a child, you can adopt the how-to in your life, and that's how you can achieve your dreams. It's all coming from within and connecting to your heart. And
so there you go. That interview was done 2 years ago, and how I found my voice. Previously, I thought that you had to be, have a business degree or some sort of degree to write a book, but it's literally sharing your stories. Everyone has a story that can inspire, and it can be a fictional story or it can be whatever. But Etta has found her passion and how to tap into her greatness and put it into words. So tell us a little bit more detail about your story and how you help people to write memoirs and things like that.
Yeah, I think my talent is just really encouraging people to tell me their stories. I
Yeah.
just get so interested when somebody starts sharing something personal with me. I literally become all ears. And the person that I'm speaking to or listening to gets really encouraged, and they open up and they tell me more. And then I want to hear more. And before long, I realized that everybody that I came across is actually like a book. They have a book inside of them. We all do. We have such great variety of experiences in life, don't we? Even if we
Yes.
did not manage to get a degree in anything, we still, like, just by doing things over and experiencing life, we all have something so valuable to share. And yeah, now we have such great technology, great
Yeah.
tools out there. Even if you're not someone who can sit down and write, you can still get a book out. I mean, there is incredible technology out there, which I'm sure you're aware of, Laura.
I just think writing a book is such a powerful thing. And I know a lot of people aren't confident in doing that. I myself had to purchase an online course in order for me to sit down and know what I was doing. So when people work with you, Etta, what does it look like? I mean, you wrote your first book in 3 months. Can you do the same thing for others? Can you help them find their passion, find their voice, and write their own book in 3 months if they've never done it before?
Absolutely. Look, I can do it. I can help people if they're really motivated to do it in 3 months. My online program is it takes baby steps. So it breaks it down into 40 weeks. And what happens is when they sign up, they receive a set of prompts every week. And these prompts, they actually correspond to the chapters of the book that they're writing. So the structure is, there's 6 chapter structure. And it doesn't have to be this way. It just depends on whether people are really wanting to do it as a structure, like a paint by numbers thing, and they really want their handheld and wanting to be responding to prompts. And then this 40-week program is really good for that. And the chapters are like parents and ancestors, because I feel like we have to go back to our parents and even our grandparents to really understand where our life is headed. Then chapter 2 is childhood and school. Chapter 3, young adulthood. Chapter 4, career. Chapter 5, my own family. And Chapter 6, life lessons. So this is really good for maybe retired people who don't really know where they want to start with their life story because they have so much material. However, if somebody is wanting to write for a specific purpose, they have a business, a heart-centered business that they'd like to promote, or they just want to share their expertise in the form of a book, then 3 months will be sufficient time to get that first draft done. And then, it'll go through the process of the editing before it's ready to be published.
I love that. So tell me, you're so passionate about helping others find their voice and share their stories. Tell me a little bit about that, how you found that passion. That fascinates me.
Yeah, I worked in so many offices after I graduated from uni. And in every one of those offices, the one thing that remained constant was me listening to my coworkers, my colleagues talk to me about, their life experiences. I always seem to draw that out of people, and I absolutely love it. And I love listening to somebody's life experience and, applying it to my own life, because I learned so much through just listening to others.
I love that so much. And so it's funny, you showed your book. This is my book. The front cover's changed a little bit since I ordered this book, but I feel like our chapters are very similar. Where's my chapters? I actually created my chapters around I am affirmations. So the first, I don't know if you can see that, but it's I am heart-centered, I am faith, I am belief. And then I shared stories in my life where I stumbled across, maybe I did something wrong, bad decision, and it led me to learning something. And then I applied the lessons that I learned and put it into my book. So I'm so passionate about book writing because I've put everything that I've learned up until, well, I wrote this in 2020. I should probably do another one around relationships, to be honest with you. But I've learned so much in such a short amount of time from writing this book that not only am I sharing my lessons with people, but it made me realize some things about myself when I wrote down. When you were writing down your memoir, Edda, like, what was it for you? Did you have moments of like aha moments where you realized and discovered things about you and maybe your mom or whoever it was that, like, did you have those moments?
Oh, absolutely. Because to be honest, I had a very difficult relationship with my mother. And I discovered that my mother had a difficult relationship with my grandmother, her mother. And I'm like, okay, so I can understand now why we struggle with these mother-daughter relationships in my family. And I have two daughters. I'm like, well, the cycle has to end here with me. Because I want to have a good relationship with my kids, right?
Yes.
So it made me realize so much of, like how the women in my family are a little bit stifled by the patriarchy, shall we say, by all these rules imposed on women about, how we must appear, how we must conduct ourselves. Maybe us being too creative or too expressive is not really welcome, at least in my family, because we're Turkish, and, you kind of come with that sort of cultural set of norms which are very restrictive.
Yes.
So I decided that I'm going to live life fully, enjoy it. I'm going to be my creative self. I'm going to write as much as I want because that's what brings me joy. And then because I'm allowing myself to do the things that I love, my daughters will pick up that I'm not restricting myself. I'm not limiting myself. I'm living life. We'll have a much better relationship as a result of it. Because what's happened with my family, all these women, they kept themselves small, unfortunately. And because they were suffering, they were keeping themselves small. So they were not they weren't joyful to be around. So they couldn't really form those really good relationships with their children.
Wow, that's amazing. And tell me, I'm dying to know, what is your favorite book that you've read?
My favorite book, gosh, okay, it would have to be, this was life-changing for me, and I read it during COVID. COVID was actually a time of a lot of realizations for me, and I think for a lot of people from having had chats. It was Untamed by Glennon Doyle, and it's her story of realizing, even in the US society, which we think of as a less patriarchal society than maybe Turkey, but still she talks about like all these limitations and restrictions put on women and how women behave so differently to men under similar circumstances. Like we have a lot more self-doubt. We won't put our hands up for promotions or for jobs if we're not 100% qualified, whereas men, if they're 50% qualified, they'll go for it. So there's a lot of differences when it comes to how us women conduct ourselves and how our self-limiting beliefs kind of hold us back.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have a range of clients. I'm dying to know, are some people that work with you like housewives, for example, and some professionals and some business people and some just regular people wanting to write a book? Like what is the majority of people that come to you? Is it all types of people who want to write a book?
Yeah, so my sweet spot has tended to be older people.
Okay. That's awesome. I love
People
it.
who have a little bit more time after they've retired, but certainly I would be so honored to work with people who are at the top of their careers, who are wanting to share things as they're experiencing their careers.
Beautiful. I love that so much.
Yes.
Etta, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to a little commercial about why I wrote a book. I'm going to share with you my platform, and I decided to write a book when I went through my pageant journey as Mrs. Australia International. So during that process, I worked with a lot of coaches, and they were all saying you have to create a legacy project that is your platform when you're in a pageant, and that got me so excited. What a legacy project is basically a project that you create that gives back to your community of your choice. So maybe there's a problem in your community. Children in poverty, for example, was my focus, my platform. And so my legacy project, I had to create a project that if I wasn't in this world anymore, that project would still be in this world, still servicing our community and giving profits to your non-for-profit. So it's a give back project. So some people went ahead and did YouTube channels. Some people went ahead and created live events online, and some people went ahead and did a book. So I decided that my legacy project was going to be a book. I'm going to share with you my mission in a video right now, and then I'm going to come back and share with you why writing a book can also give back to your community and serve your community, even if you're not in this world anymore. So I'm going to cut to this video of my, hang on one sec, I'm just looking at technology right now. I'm going to share my mission and my platform, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to bring on Etta for final questions. So if you have questions, please do pop it in the chat box below. Okay, here we go. My mission has always been to sparkle for every child. When my husband and I learned that there were 15 million children living in poverty in the USA and 730,000 children living in poverty in Australia, we decided to do something. We have created the Jane Bullock Charitable Foundation, where we travel around the world and we have teamed up with some amazing charities. We are providing programs for children living in poverty and giving them opportunities so that we can help them change their future. I'm so excited to be launching my book, Heart Queen, with the profits going to these amazing organizations to help children. In the book, you will find information and stories that will help you find true success in your life. If you'd like to join us on the journey to Mrs. International in July, please visit our website, laurajaneratliff.com. I invite you to sparkle for every child and make a difference in their life. Okay, so as you can see, I created, let me stop sharing the screen. Remove that. There we go. I created a book. So that was my legacy project during the pageant reign, with the profits going to a non-for-profit organization that help kids in poverty all around the world. Now, if I'm not in this world anymore, this is going to continue to generate money, giving to my non-for-profit, helping get kids out of poverty. And this is what we do in the pageant system. We help women find their passion, find their cause, and then help them build out legacy projects. So I'm here today with Etta to try and inspire people that you can go out and make a difference. Write a book. If you have 2 weeks like I did, or 3 months like Etta did, you could literally put down your stories into a book and make this world a better place. So Etta, give me some tips and tricks about writing a book. I'm so excited and honored you're here today. I'm just over the moon. Yeah. So any tips for anyone thinking about writing a book, but maybe they're hesitant and telling themselves, I could never do that?
Well, the most important thing is showing up. It's to have a place that's comfortable and inviting you to show up. So you can start by a little bit of journaling. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So you can just get any old notebook, anything you can find, get your hands on, and just commit to showing up at a certain time whenever your brain is working at its optimal. Some people are night owls, some people are early birds. Whatever works for you, commit to that. Show up there at the space where you feel most comfortable and invited to, grab your journal, maybe a cup of coffee, and just show up and start writing. That step, it really starts with one word. Okay, the journey towards having your book completed starts with one word and starts by showing up. Right, Lucy? Oh my goodness.
So cute. I love it. I love what you said, Etta. It's so true. Make your space that you're writing in a fun and happy space. Oh, she's so cute. I will mute you just for a moment. But make your space a fun and happy space. A space that you feel good. Put some candles on. Maybe have a bath before you write. I know I did these things, and those tips came from a course that I purchased, and it really, really helped. Get in a really happy, great centered space before you sit down and maybe get your pen and paper. I actually did write on pen and paper the old school way, and then I took that into my computer and I typed it in. But yeah, it's such a fun journey. But I think some people feel overwhelmed thinking that they could never do this, but everyone has a story in them. Anyone can write. And so, yeah, I love that you said that, Etta. That was amazing.
Yeah, totally agree with the candle. I have a candle at my desk. When I light that candle, I'm lit up. I'm ready to go. I start writing I might sometimes start with, oh, I don't feel like writing today, but it gets my mind moving. And then the next sentence is better, and then it gets better. And then I get to the core of, I reach my heart and I start writing.
I love that so much. Guys, you need to connect with Etta. I'll just put you on mute for one more minute. I love your kids so much. Please do connect with Etta. Her website is below, but if you're listening to this and you can't see the screen, it is mymemoirmaker.com. She is amazing. All of her information is exactly what you need. If you feel a little bit inspired to do something really cool in this life so that when you leave this world, you left behind something special. Wouldn't that be an amazing thing to do? And also, guys, I will ask Etta one more thing before we get going, but I do want to share with you, you are on the International Pageant site today. Maybe you're watching here on Facebook or on our YouTube channel. I do want to say, if you're thinking about becoming a leader, maybe you want to gain exposure Australia-wide or even internationally, then you might want to check out our website, internationalpageants.com.au. We really build leaders. If you're thinking about becoming a leader in your community and you're just not sure how, I went on this journey because I was already in business, but it really helped me figure out my core mission, my core purpose, and it actually helped me to brand myself better, to public speak better than ever before, and it gave me the most confidence I've ever had in my life. Plus, the friendships you build from all around the world is just priceless. So this is the internationalpageants.com.au official website. So go on over and check that out. We have titles ranging from 10 years to 56 years of age. And soon we will also have the seniors, which is very exciting. So go on over and check us out. We'd love you to maybe think about becoming a leader and potentially writing a book. Who knows? But I do want to say Etta is our beautiful preferred person that we will refer over to. So if any of our queens do want to write a book, she will be our official book coach, if you will. So we will always refer over to Etta. So Etta, if any, did you have any final words of wisdom from Etta today for the beautiful viewers, maybe watching or listening?
Yeah, if you ever thought you were a writer, trust me, you absolutely 100% are, and that beautiful book will come out. If you feel committed, if you get a joy out of writing. Not everybody connects with the written word, but if you're one of those people like me who does, the book will come out. It will show up for you. I promise you that.
I love that so much. You've just got me a rush. How will I sleep now? I'm too excited. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I'm really excited that the international pageants will be open to seniors because there's so much wisdom, so many stories there. It's beautiful.
I know we're not going to stop at 56. We're opening up a senior one for that purpose. So that's so exciting. But I thank you from the bottom of my heart. When I write my second book, I'm coming to you, Etta, I promise. If you do want to purchase my book,
I think it'll be perfect for my daughters. We're doing affirmations, so I feel like this will be a really good book for them.
I do have affirmations right at the back there. So there you go. And if you do want to get a copy of my book, Amazon Heart Queen, it is available for purchase. I wrote it for teenagers to learn how to create a success mindset. However, it really is great for all ages. Maybe you could read it to your 5-year-old daughter. But thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. I really appreciate you. One more time, going over to, what is your website again, Etta?
mymemoirmaker.com.
Beautiful. Go and connect. I appreciate you all so much for tuning in. We'll be going live with more amazing tutors who can inspire greatness within. So watch this channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Like, share, and comment. We really appreciate you so much. Have a great day. And remember, you are special and you are made for greatness. We believe in you. Have a great day, guys. Bye.